Jessica Williams, and I am the orchestra director here at Kennett High School. The group that you see in front of you starting off our concert is the Kennett High School String Ensemble, a select group that meets before school. And the second and final selection that this group will play is the Toreador song from the well-known opera Carmen by Bizet. In addition to, as a class, we meet as a full orchestra once every 3 days, but we also have a class in addition to that some of the string players are in called string techniques, which allows us to work on some string orchestra repertoire. So the piece that we're going to play for you features the string students in our string techniques class, plus some students who wanted to learn it. So this piece is called The Beatles Forever, just to make sure I don't miss any of the pieces. So this includes Lady Madonna, Michelle, and Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and also will feature DJ Augustine on the drum set. So now we are going to have more people on the stage and we will be ready for the full orchestra portion. It may take a minute to get them up here, but I'll tell you a little bit about what we're playing while we're doing that. The first piece that we're going to play is Introduction and Royal March to the Lions from Carnival of the Animals. Carnival of the Animals is a piece by Saint-Saëns. It's 14 movements. It's a very light-hearted piece. 14 movements, each movement depicts a different animal. The most famous selection from that is the Swan, which is a very famous cello solo. So the section that we're going to play is the very beginning of this work, hence Introduction and Royal March to the Lions. piece we're going to play is Tragic Overture by Brahms. Brahms wrote this in the same year that he wrote another overture, Academic Festival, so these two pieces are often thought of together, and they are very contrasting. Academic Festival is very bright and cheerful, whereas Tragic Overture is what it sounds like, very dark. And then following that, we will play the Menuetto from Mozart's Symphony No. 25. Dvorak's Slavonic Dance number 1. He actually wrote 16 of these Slavonic dances. We will just play one. And he was actually inspired by Brahms when writing these by Brahms' Hongliang dances. So thank you all so much for coming out tonight. We hope you are enjoying the performance, and please enjoy.
come here an entire semesters of work. So that's pretty impressive. In one evening, you hear all this work. I realized this evening, I don't always think about it, but it occurred to me that for some people up here that you've been hearing and will hear this evening, this is their last concert at Kennett High School. So, for some people that's tomorrow night. And there are other there's some other assorted performances from now until graduation. There's a few people performing on graduation. That will be their last performance. But I just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys and to thank you for sharing them with us for 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, however long they've been with us in Kennett music. And because of that, I think it would be very appropriate that we all be in the moment and put our flags away, right? Okay, I wanted to share with you also, since we're talking about seniors and end of year recognition kind of things, that parents, you are most welcome, and for those grandparents at home or whoever you'd like to bring, you are most welcome to our musical boards breakfast, which is in your program in the list of dates. And it's a breakfast, it's held during periods 1 and 2, so that's roughly 8 o'clock to 9:20. And you're most welcome to come. If you think you will be able to come and join us, could you just please email one of us directors? And if you'd be willing to bring $5 to contribute to that the cost of that breakfast, that would be great. But you are most welcome to come to that and see the recognition of all these people, other people up here. Mr. Anastas, I'm going to ask you to bring up the house lights just a little bit. I'm going to try to not talk as much as I did at Christmas, so from here on out you will not hear from me. On the page 2 of your program are the texts of the pieces you're going to hear, the translations. I didn't put Blackbird in because I know a lot of you guys know that piece. But enjoy understanding what is being sung. And also, I tried to make an effort to put in the years this year. The years next to the titles are the years of composition. So you can get in your mind the context in which these pieces were composed. We just heard a lovely variety of music from the orchestra, and I hope that the choir will hear the same thing from the choir. So enjoy these 4 pieces.
La 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 Good evening. Welcome to the final components of our concert tonight, the symphonic band. Symphonic band is primarily made up of 11th and 12th grade students, so you guys have been playing the instrument for quite some time. Our opening piece for tonight is entitled Into the Joy of Spring, and you'll note that it has 3 movements in it, but they blend together very, very nicely. It's a wonderful composition that you're going to kind of hear really does go along with what the composer decided to call the name of each movement. The Ave Maria that you're going to hear is actually a very recent Ave Maria in terms of musical history. I think the date is 1964 is when it was written. So it's pretty recent, and it's a work that would normally be done by a choir. So why are we doing it? Well, it's easy to find pieces of music that feature certain instruments. It's easy to find things that feature a clarinet solo or a flute solo. You heard a flute solo in there, or trumpet solos. They're easy things to kind of find. We have a student who's leaving Kennett and going to school to study music, and a whole lot of our students continue to play music, continue to sing at all levels in college, but we actually have a few that are going to be music majors, and one of them is going on an instrument called a euphonium, which is sort of like a tuba, but smaller, and kind of sounds like a trombone, but has valves. Sort of the best way I can describe it, but finding solo literature to feature that kind of instrument is not so easy. This one happens to have it. It's based on a chant melody through the whole beginning of it, and the chant is presented from the euphonium, which is a wonderful kind of sound that sounds very chant-like when you hear it. The person conducting this, as some of you probably are aware, I missed a considerable amount of time this spring, and I think if you were to ask any teacher, hey, you're unexpectedly going to be out for a month and there's nothing you can do about it, nobody's going to say there's a good time to be out. We happen to have the good fortune of having a student teacher with us during the time that I was away. And truly, without her leadership, without her being here, we would not be playing many of the pieces that we have programmed tonight. So she's going to be conducting this one. Without further ado, with Shannon Jarvis from Westchester University. go to some John Williams. It's hard not to do John Williams when you have a new Star Wars movie out. He's written so many classics, and he still continues to write well into where he'll probably be thinking about retirement. But when you have new John Williams music, you kind of need to do something from John Williams. This has none of it. This was published in 1988. It has a lot of the old John Williams stuff in it. You will recognize pretty much everything in it, and some things you may not even be aware that John Williams wrote. For instance, it has The Mission in it, which is the theme that NBC News uses, as well as the Olympic fanfare, which most of the audience remember back from probably the '88 Olympics, the ones that he wrote from that one. But you will recognize everything here. Friends of Music, we have a meeting this Thursday night. I know some of you are out tonight for a concert and maybe tomorrow night for a concert. You come back and join us again Thursday night for a little bit of a meeting to find out what's going on with Friends of Music. They help us an awful lot. They support a whole lot that we do. They're always looking for more help with that. Additionally, one of our biggest fundraisers, our wine tasting, is coming up on June 4th. You can sign up online, I believe, already from frankswine.com. And if that's something you'd be interested in, we'd love to see you there. Okay, Incantation and Dance, written in 1963, I believe, really helped set the tone, no pun intended there, the tone of what percussion sections would be to the present. You see that every percussionist we have is back there with some different piece of instruments, and it's just busy. The beginning of this piece starts with a beautiful, beautiful flute melody that then transitions into a dance that can probably best be called primal. We very briefly, toyed with the idea of interpretive dance on the stage, but we nixed it because of space. Yeah, that's the only reason we nixed it. You will hear it is not a typical kind of dance by any means. It is very much just kind of out there, but it is very fun. Your foot will tap through it, I guarantee it. The problem is you're just not going to know where to tap your foot because it changes all the time. all for coming out tonight. When you go to school to be a band director, sort of like rule number one is if you're going to do Stars and Stripes, it has to be at the end. It just doesn't fit anywhere else. And there's certain ways to do Stars and Stripes, and you've probably heard it all before. It doesn't mean that it's not exciting. It doesn't mean that it's not fun for the musicians, or that it's just fun for the audience. And it's on top of it all, it's our national march. So we will close our program tonight with the Stars and Stripes Forever.
Thank you.